Have you ever noticed how your emotions can affect you physically? Just like how anxiety or depression can show up as physical symptoms, how feelings can have a direct impact on different parts of our bodies. It feels as if these sensations gather and reside in specific areas. And it's interesting that each emotion has the power to activate certain body parts, leaving its own distinctive mark behind. Take happiness, for instance. It spreads throughout our entire body, with the chest area and head being the hotspots of sensation. Or sadness. It mostly activates our chest and head, but has very little reaction throughout the rest of the body. It's wise to pay attention to how your body reacts to your feelings. You don't have to talk about every single emotion, but noticing and especially verbalizing them can make a big difference in how you feel overall. Because talking about your feelings can actually help dealing with your emotional pain. Neuroscience shows that labeling our feelings helps to deactivate the amygdala. This brain region is our internal alarm that triggers the fight or flight response. And that in turn makes us extremely alert and agitated. But if we don't actually engage in fighting or running away, our physical symptoms accumulate and can eventually lead to anxiety. However, when we name our emotions, we move away from that limbic reactivity. We activate those parts of the brain that deal with language and meaning, and so become less reactive, more mindfully aware, and have a better well-being as a result. There's also a study that looked at how sharing our negative emotions can impact how we feel. They examined call center employees and found that those who openly discussed their problems and negative feelings with their family or co-workers had noticeably higher levels of well-being. Another research that used 12 years' worth of data found a very strong connection between people who suppress their emotions and their chances for early death, including cancer. So noticing your feelings and also sharing them might be a good practice. However, there are some nuances. For example, not all emotions are affected equally, and the effect depends on what exactly you feel. This was shown in a study that looked at how participants dealt with anger and shame. As part of the test, the participants had to solve a difficult mathematical puzzle. On top of that, they were being watched and judged. They received negative feedback as soon as someone was stuck solving their puzzle. For one group, the feedback was mean, which made them angry, whilst for the others, the negative feedback was said in a nicer way with the intention of making them feel shame. To understand whether reporting on the feelings has any effect on the physical condition, half of the participants had to report on how they felt throughout the experiment. And later the researchers compared the cardiovascular measurements of all participants, which they were taking during the whole test. In the end, the anger group who reported on their emotions had better physiological responses compared to those who did not report. They had lower heart rate, blood pressure, and other parameters were at a much healthier level. Surprisingly, the shame group showed no difference. There was almost no change in how they felt, whether they reported on their feelings or not. So recognizing and reflecting on our emotions is an important element in feeling healthier, both mentally and physically. And although the effects might vary depending on the emotions we feel, evaluating our feelings can help us be more mindful, less reactive, and more thoughtful in our decisions. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.